Hey guys, Matt here, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well and welcome to this next installment of my short lick series. So if you've not seen these videos before, the idea basically is that I come up with a short lick, break it down, talk about the scale choice, the techniques involved, the intervals and the relationship of those notes with the backing chord that we're playing over the top of, and more recently providing a backing track that you can practice to lick over and perhaps even come up with your own ideas for improvising over the top of the track. So before we get into the tutorial part of it guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications on future videos, and don't forget to comment below, let me know your thoughts, as all that sort of stuff really helps me to grow the channel and also continue to create content. Let's get into the tutorial. So for this lick, we're going to be using the E Phrygian Dominant scale. It's quite an unusual sounding scale, and the backing track is basically just vamping on an E5 power chord. So that actually gives a lot of scope for lots of various scale choices over the top. So I thought it'd be really fun to use the E Phrygian Dominant scale, as it's got quite an unusual sound and it's a real fun one to kind of dive into. So the intervals you'll find in the E Phrygian Dominant scale are root to a flat second, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, flat six and a flat seven. So you could also view this scale as the Phrygian scale with a major third. So as we're working in the key of E, that will give us the notes E to F, which is that flat second, G sharp, which is the major third, the perfect fourth, which will be A, and then B, which is the perfect fifth, and then we've got C, which is the flat six, and then finally we've got D, which is that flat seven. So some of the techniques that we're going to be using throughout this lick are hammer-ons and pull-offs, slides, alternate picking, string bending, vibrato, and there's a little bit of palm muting. So plenty there to keep us occupied throughout this lick. So the whole lick starts on the 5th string, fret 7. We're going to grab that note with the first finger. That note is E, that's the root note. And then we're going to alternate the picking by grabbing F on the 8th fret. So it's a down up. And I'm also using a little bit of palm muting on these first two notes just to give it a little bit of dynamic change when I'm moving from these two notes to the next ones. So that will sound like this. So a little bit of a chuggy sound using the palm muting technique. If you've not tried palm muting before, take the side of your hand and rest it against the bridge and the saddles and just ever so slightly onto the string, so you get that slightly muted string sound, and you can play around with moving the hand left and right, so slightly onto the string or slightly back towards the bridge, just to find that sweet spot on your guitar. Alright, so once we pick those first two notes, that's E to F, we're going to jump onto the 4th string. We're going to grab fret 6, which is G sharp, so that's the major third, and we're going to introduce the hammer on now from the 6th fret to the 7th, and then pull off back to the 6th, and I'm using the first and middle finger here. So I've lifted off that palm mute there, so it's just those first two notes that we've got the palm mute, and then opening it up a little bit more for the 4th string. So altogether that sounds like this. Once we've done the hammer on pull off on the 4th string, we're going to jump back to the 5th string on the 8th fret using the 3rd finger, so that's F, and we're going to use a down pick stroke for that note. Straight after that, we're going to go back to the 1st finger on fret 6, and we're going to use an up pick stroke and introduce the first slide up to fret 9. So it's really important to pay close attention to the picking direction, which will help the overall flow and the smoothness of these note transitions. So from the top, it's going to sound like this. Okay, once we've done that slide up to fret 9, which is the note B, we're going to jump onto the 3rd string on the 10th fret, and we're going to pull off down to fret 9. And I'm using an upward pick stroke for this. So that's using the middle finger pulling off to the 1st finger. Following on from the 3rd string, we're going to jump back to the 4th string using the same frets, 10 down to 9 with the middle finger to 1st, but I'm going to alternate the picking on both of these notes with an up down. So that's C back to B. So far from the beginning, we now have this. Okay, after the 4th string, we're going to do a little string skip now, all the way to the 2nd string, using the same frets again, 10 down to 9, and I'm going to pull off from the 10th fret with the middle finger down to the 1st finger. And that will also be an upward pick stroke on the 10th fret. Then we're going to move back to the 3rd string, same sort of pattern as before. We're going to grab fret 10 to fret 9 and same alternate picking pattern as we did previously on the 4th string, so up and then down. Okay, and then we're going to jump onto the 2nd string, fret 12, using the pinky with an upward pick stroke for B. And then we're going to land on the 1st finger with the down pick stroke on fret 9 for G sharp. At that point, we're going to introduce a semitone bend, so we're bending from G sharp up to A, which would be the sound that you'd get on fret 10, and then back down to G sharp on fret 9. So if you played the notes individually, that would sound like this. So with a bend, that's going to sound like this. Now rhythmically, it's a quick flick up and then flick back down. So in context with the music, it will sound like this. So altogether from the start, it will sound like this. Okay, then we're going to drop down the 2nd string all the way down to fret 6, and we're going to do a hammer-on pull-off on the 2nd string from 6, back up to 9 with the pinky, and then back down to the 1st finger. And that will be with a down pick stroke on the 6th fret. And then we're going to jump on to the 3rd string for fret 7 using the middle finger. This will be with an upward pick stroke, and we're going to slide across to fret 9, which will be E. So from the 2nd string hammer on pull off onto the 3rd string slide, that will sound like this. When we get to fret 9, we're going to introduce another semitone bend. So we're bending from 9 up to the sound of fret number 10 and then back down to 9. So if we add that in, that's going to sound like this. So it's another one of those where we flick the note up and then back down again fairly rapidly. Once we've done the semitone bend up and bend back down again, we're going to re-pick the 9th fret and slide very quickly down to fret 4, which will sound something like this. Once we get to fret 4, we're going to re-pick fret 4 with a down pick and then bend up to C on the 5th fret and then back down to fret 4. So from the slide down, that's going to sound something like this. And then finally, we're going to add some vibrato to the 4th fret at the very, very end. So from the very beginning, it will sound something like this. It's also worth pointing out that most of the lick uses semiquavers, but occasionally when we do the hammer-ons and pull-offs, we're going into triplet semiquavers. So we've got a bit more of that bounce sort of feel to it. So just in that first beat, we've got 5 notes. The first 2 are 2 semiquavers, followed by 3 triplet semiquavers. So when you go back to the 5th string for the note F with the 3rd finger, that's going to land on the 2nd beat of that first bar. So you just want to feel that 2nd beat when going back to the 5th string with that down pick. I'll try and demonstrate that now for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. So hopefully you can feel that triplet feel on the second half of that first beat. And then that appears again later on the 2nd string when we do the hammer on pull off from the 6th up to the 9th fret. Well, there we have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that lick. Stick around to the end of the video and you can jam along with the backing track to practice that lick. Maybe come up with your own ideas as well over the top. As always, guys, please don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications on any future videos, and comment below. Let me know what you think of the lick. Let me know if there's anything you'd like me to cover in the future licks, whether it might be a technique, a scale, anything like that. And I'll always provide some backing music as well that you can practice over the top of. So until next time, guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.